Hey, what's up, guys? Scott here, back with Thursday's edition of the DC and Marvel Daily. So, this is my first week doing this series. So, Monday we talked about White Canary's story. Tuesday I talked about what we know about the Batman movie. And then yesterday, talked about theories for the upcoming Arrowverse crossover. So today I wanted to do a Marvel thing. Done a 3 days of DC, so time to touch on Marvel. So today's topic for Marvel, I'll be covering 3 characters in the MCU. Iron Man, Thor, and Black Widow. Because I think that all 3 of those characters have tremendous character arcs and redemption stories within the overarching story arc of the MCU Marvel Cinematic Universe. So let's start with Iron Man. So Iron Man starts out as a rich, pompous playboy that's just a complete dick to everyone. But once he becomes Iron Man, well, in some ways he can still be a dick to everyone. But he does become, over the course of the MCU, he does become more noble, more understanding, more kind-hearted, and eventually becomes a husband, a father. Oh, by the way, spoiler warning for the MCU. 3, 2, 1. Ultimately, ends up sacrificing himself with the stones to save everyone from Thanos. Sacrifices his life to save everyone from Thanos. So to me, his redemption, it took, even though he became less of a dick after becoming Iron Man, to me it took all the way through the Avengers movies for him to finally, like him and Cap were talking in the first Avengers movie, he's not the type to lay down on the wire so the other guy can get across. And Tony Stark's like, I would just cut the wire. But finally, his character arc and growth is so much that he was willing to sacrifice himself to save everyone from Thanos. So he will always be one of the greatest heroes in the MCU for his noble sacrifice to save everyone from Thanos. So to me, his character arc, from from starting out what he did to his ultimate sacrifice, that's a beautiful character journey. And I think they really did Iron Man well. Next, you got Black Widow. So Black Widow starts out as an assassin for hire, but she ultimately is captured. From what it hints at, like, it gives hints of her backstory, but all we really know is she was a Russian spy that was trained in the Red Room program. Then eventually, apparently, she became an assassin for hire, was captured by S.H.I.E.L.D., but then joined S.H.I.E.L.D., and then later the Avengers. So to me, Black Widow's story arc is kind of the same. Starts out as this assassin, although she didn't ask to be an assassin, that's what she was trained to do, from birth. But she turned around and used the skills she had learned in that Red Room and that program to fight against evil. She helped save the world from Loki and Ultron. And then ultimately, even though they failed to stop Thanos the first time, she ultimately sacrificed her life so that the Avengers could get the Soul Stone and bring all their friends back. So she ultimately sacrificed herself for her friends, so all of her friends could come back to life, and ended up being able to defeat Thanos. So she, in my opinion, her sacrifice was just as great as Iron Man's, at least. So Iron Man and Black Widow's character journeys, all the way from their first appearance till their ultimate sacrifices, to me, those character journeys show tremendous growth and development. And both of those characters became amazing, noble heroes that ultimately made the ultimate sacrifice for their friends and loved ones. Beautiful character journeys. And then lastly, it's a little different, but we got Thor. Now, to me, Thor's biggest character journey was in the first movie. So Thor starts out as an arrogant, spoiled prince that doesn't care about anyone but himself. Throws a tantrum over because he doesn't like the soda, but when Thor is stripped of his powers and forced to live on Earth, he learns humility and sacrifice, by having to live among the humans, and he grows to be fond of them, and he realizes what a huge jerk he's been. And then ultimately, even though he comes back, he ultimately, sacrifices himself with that big, the destroyer, that big robot thing that Loki sent to Earth to find him. He's like, take my life, brother, leave them. And, of course he comes back. But still Thor was willing to sacrifice himself. Then after that, he becomes a true hero and a member of the Avengers and helped stop Loki and all the other bad guys that the Avengers have faced over the years. So to me, all 3 of those character journeys show that a person, even can come back from the darkness and be redeemed and be a true hero. And that's why I think redemption stories are one of the most beautiful forms of storytelling. So that was kind of just a simple video, but to me, those three characters have had the best character arcs in the entire MCU. in my opinion, because Cap, Hawkeye, and Hulk, I mean, yeah, they have all pretty much always been good guys, but these three, kind of start out not the best in the best of places or as the best of people, but ultimately became, the best of heroes. So anyway, that's kind of just an illustration of my redemption arc. And White Canary kind of went through the same thing in the Arrowverse. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and peace out.